The important thing to remember about cashing checks is that if anything at all doesn't seem right to you about a check, don't cash it. Refer it to one of your supervisors. Right?
These people are learning to be bank tellers. There's Tim, and the other one there is Paul. And when the training is over, they're going to be tested on the job skills they've been learning. Things like, do they understand the check cashing procedure? Do they know what the bank calls proper identification?
Any questions so far? Paul?
So a check can be legitimate without the name and address?
Good question. In fact, some customers don't want their name and address on the account, for reasons of privacy, for instance. The account number is what identifies the check in our banking system. Any other questions? Tim?
No. I got it. Name and address at the top.
But that's not identification, right?
Right.
But they're also going to be rated on qualities like these. Did they seem to be eager to learn, responsible? Would they be likely to use good judgment and be polite to the customers? On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate Paul on those qualities? How about Tim? Not so hot, right? Got another ratings question for you. Again, on a scale of 1 to 10, how important do you think an employee's attitude is? And how about a big fat 10? See, when young people lose a job, 75% of the time, what gets them fired has nothing to do with the lack of work skills, but rather with a poor attitude. In fact, one personnel manager put it this way: if a young person's got a good attitude, we'll teach them the skills they need to work for us. And he said, as far as I'm concerned, attitude is everything. Now, most of what you learn in school and on-the-job training are what you could call functional skills. Now, those are the skills that get you hired and get the work done. But employers also want you to have self-management skills. Things like keeping reliable hours, understanding what the company expects from you, and getting along with others. Now, those are the skills that are going to help you keep the job once you have it. And a lack of them, well, will almost certainly get you fired.
Thanks again for the ride, Paul. You are a real lifesaver. I can't wait till my car gets fixed. I just hate being without it.
Okay, so I'll see you here after work. What are we talking about, 15 minutes?
Probably, but I'll tell you what. I'll take off early from work, and I'll get here right about 5, so you don't have to wait.
You sure? Listen, I don't mind waiting. I don't want you to get in trouble with your boss.
It's not a problem. I get my work done on time, so I don't have to worry about when I punch out.
You really don't mind?
Well, my supervisor gets uptight about it once in a while, but I don't pay any attention. She once said that I could get fired if she gave me too many warnings, but they're not going to do that. I do good work.
I guess you know what you're doing then. So I'll see you a little after 5, all right?
Okay.
All right, have a nice day.
Yeah, thanks. You too. See you.
But why are you firing me? I'm a good data entry operator, and I'm a fast typist. Ask anybody.
True. You're a good worker when you're here and when you're working, Carol. But you're late far too often. You leave early, you take long lunch hours, and you're 4 days over the limit for sick days already this year. We had the same problem with you last year as well, and we warned you then.
But I always get my work done, even when I am late, and they dock my pay if I go over the limit for sick days. Isn't that enough? You don't have to fire me, too.
Yes, I do. The company handbook stresses that excessive lateness and absences won't be tolerated.
I never read that part. Couldn't you give me just one more chance? I'll get better. I promise.
No, I can't. It's company policy. The employees who play by the rules resent it when we take it easy on someone who doesn't. They also resent seeing you wandering in late and taking long lunch hours. Now, there's 2 weeks severance here. I'll give you a reference as far as your work skills are concerned, but the attendance problem is part of your record. Carol, take my advice. Learn from this experience, because any other employer is going to expect the same basic thing we do. Be there, and be there on time.
So, what do you think? Does it seem likely to you that a boss would fire a good worker for those reasons? Was it fair for Carol's employer to fire her? What are some other ways in which you think employers expect their employees to be responsible?
That's the second piece I messed up.
So throw it out and start over, man. The boss knows there's going to be a certain amount of scrap, especially when you're starting a new part.
Nah, this is more than a first piece mistake. I don't even know what I'm doing wrong. I followed the specs exactly both times, but they keep coming out uneven. I wish I understood this machine.
Well, I can't be much help, but keep trying. Hey, you'll get it sooner or later.
Tiara, I don't know. I could stand here all afternoon and turn out nothing but scrap. Boss will flip out. I think I'd better go ask him what's wrong.
So what happened? The boss chewed you out for bothering him, right?
Nah, the boss couldn't get it right.
Get out of here.
So he got on the phone to the customer's engineering department, and guess what?
What?
The specs were wrong.
Are you kidding?
They're real impressed that we caught the mistake so quickly. Boss said he was glad I came to ask for help when I didn't understand what was going wrong.
So I guess you get a gold star and everything, huh?
Sort of. He said he'd remember this when my pay review comes up. Made me feel good.
When something goes wrong, young workers often blame themselves and don't want to call their supervisor's attention to the problem. They're afraid of getting in trouble or being thought dumb. But most employers want to take the time to help you learn your job. Smart employers want you to succeed, because when you succeed, they succeed. So, if you can't figure it out, just ask.
No. How did this happen? What am I gonna do?
What's the matter?
Tim, I keep proving out over $1,000 short. I've tried this 3 times, and every time it comes out the same. What am I gonna do? Tim, I'm in big trouble.
Hey, don't hit the panic button yet. We've been on the job 4 days. Try it again.
No, I've tried it 3 times. No, I think I better ask Mr. Long about this.
Yeah, you could.
Yeah, I think I better. Excuse me.
And here's the percentage yield of the 12-month CD
Excuse me, Mr.
compound.
Long, can you help me a minute? I keep proving out over $1,000 short. I don't know what's wrong.
Go back and try it again, Paul.
No, I've tried it 3 times, Mr. Long. It's still coming out the same.
I'll be over as soon as Mr. Paulson and I finish our business. I'm sure we can find the problem together.
Okay.
Paul just started the first of this week. He's very eager to do well. Now, as I was saying, the percentage of the 12-month CD is what I showed you, and
Obviously, Paul should not have interrupted or let a customer know he had a problem. Oh, he was right to ask for help, but his judgment on timing wasn't so good. Can you think of any other situations in which it might be important to pick the right time to ask a question or point out a problem? Have you ever seen an example of somebody doing the right thing at the wrong time? Perhaps even done it yourself?
Hello.
Hi again.
Come in, please. Carol, we've called you back for another interview, so obviously we're interested in you. But there could be a problem. I spoke with the supervisor of your last job, and though she spoke highly of your skills, she said that they had to let you go because of chronic lateness and too many sick days. Is that true?
Well, I'm afraid I had a few things to learn about. working out what other people expect. It was my first job, and, well, getting fired was pretty shocking. But I'm determined not to let it happen again. I'd really like to work here, and I'd appreciate a chance from you to prove that I can deliver everything that you expect.
All right. That's straightforward. Now, you know that other businesses hire us to do the payroll for them. So we're a company that is a service company, and they're the customers. Now, it's very important that we give them good service and keep them happy, even though there are times when they can be very unreasonable.
Yes, I understand that.
I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to hire you on a 3-month trial basis. And at the end of the 3-month period, I'm going to speak with your supervisor. If your attendance and your punctuality have been good, then we'll consider the job permanent. How does that sound?
Oh, that sounds great. Thank you very much. I really do appreciate the chance.
Fine. We're glad to have you. So we'll see you on Monday?
Mm-hmm.
Are there any questions?
Well, could I have a copy of the company handbook? That way I can study up over the weekend, and I'll know what's expected of me come Monday.
Certainly. Here you are.
Thank you.
See you on Monday.
Thank you very much, Ms. Clark.
Thank you, Carol.
So, some important self-management skills. A positive attitude, accepting responsibility, promptness, using good judgment, and learning from your mistakes. Skills that will help you hold on to that job you want to keep. And there's more. Things like being a good representative for your business, getting along with your coworkers, and getting along with your supervisor. And that's what we'll talk about in the second part of the program.
Hello? Huh? Yeah, this is her line. Well, I guess she's away from her desk. Uh-huh. Let me check. I don't see a pen anywhere. I'm sorry. Could you call her back? Uh-huh. Okay, I'll try to remember to tell her. Be better if you call her back, though, okay? Yeah. A customer? All right. Bye now.
Would you believe from that phone conversation that Rachel was speaking to an important customer? Well, see, Rachel's company does payroll for other companies, so when the phone rings, it's likely to be a customer.
That's okay, I'll get it.
No. Don't bother, I'll get it. Susan Chin's line, Carol Watson speaking. No, I'm sorry, Mr. Rowan. No, she's on vacation. She's not expected into the office until at least Monday.
Customers are, well, the lifeblood of any business. Well, they provide the income that keeps the business alive and pays the employees' salaries. That's why most employers expect their employees to be good to the customer. That means dressing appropriately, being pleasant and courteous, and making sure that the customer is satisfied. Now, not every customer is going to be pleasant or courteous, even when you are. And there may be times when you'll have to exercise a lot of self-control to avoid meeting rudeness with rudeness.
Do you have an account with the bank, ma'am?
No, I've been cashing my paycheck here for years.
Well, do you have any other form of identification? I'm not authorized to cash checks for non-customers without 2 IDs.
What's wrong with this driver's license? It's got my picture on it. You can see it's me.
I'm sorry, but bank policy requires that a manager okay a check when a non-customer only has 1 form of ID. So if you'll just go over and have him initial it, I can have it cashed for you right away.
Then I have to stand in line again to cash it?
If a line forms, ma'am, come to the head of it and I can take you right away. But I'll have to have a manager's approval first.
When did you start working here? The tellers in this branch always used to know me.
Listen, lady, I'm just trying to do what my boss told me to do.
Would you like me to take it over and you have it approved, ma'am? I don't have a customer right now.
Thank you.
Tim, in the future, you can cash Mrs. Foley's paychecks with just her license for identification. She's been cashing her paychecks here ever since I've been with this branch.
See, what did I tell you?
Tim was just trying to do his job, Mrs. Foley. I'm sorry it inconvenienced you, but I can't fault him for following our policy.
Here you are, Miss Foley. And thank you for coming to Federal.
Well, I certainly hope this won't happen again next week.
Good self-control, Tim. You really hung in there. Mrs. Foley can be difficult. We have to stick to policy, but we don't want to upset a potential customer.
So, what do you think could have happened if Tim had lost his self-control and spoken sharply to Mrs. Foley? Have you ever had to deal with an angry or impatient customer on a part-time or summer job? And what do you think are some good strategies for controlling your impulses when dealing with customers?
Rachel, Sally, I need your help. Renotech wants this proposal to be in their hands in Cleveland by 10 o'clock Monday morning. That means it has to go out of here by 5:30 this afternoon. If we work through lunch, we can make it. I'll order in a pizza and sodas and we'll charge it to the company, okay?
Oh, come on, Roberta. It's Friday. I was going to cash my paycheck and buy a new sweater on my lunch hour. I've got a really important date tonight.
I understand it's a lot to ask, Rachel, but if we get this, this is the kind of account that's going to put us over the top. I'm going to be eating pizza and working straight through myself.
Can't you get somebody else to do it?
Not really. This is important, Rachel. We've been working on this proposal for 3 months.
Yeah, all right. But it isn't fair. It's going to mess up my whole evening.
I'm sorry, but Renotech didn't give us any choice in the matter. How about you, Sally?
Sure, I'll do it.
Terrific. Here's 17 pages for you, and 17 pages for you, Rachel.
Thanks.
I'll be working on the graphics program. If all 3 of us start printing out around 4:30, we should be able to copy this and get it out by 5:30. Okay?
Yeah, all right.
Okay. Thanks. This account really means a lot to the company.
Hi, Rick. It's me. Listen, I'm going to have to cancel lunch today. Yeah, we have an emergency typing job. Roberta just brought it in. Thanks, you're a doll. Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. Bye.
You're breaking a lunch date with your boyfriend to type this stupid proposal? You had the perfect excuse. Why didn't you use it?
I'm not sure any excuse is perfect. Besides, Rick understands. Sometimes he has to work through his lunch, too.
Yeah, okay, but why can't they be more reasonable? I mean, give us some warning. It's just not fair.
So, what do you think? Was Rachel's boss being unreasonable to ask her to give up her lunch hour to work on an emergency job? And when do you think it would be wise to agree to work the extra hours? And are there any situations in which you would feel justified in saying no?
Ira, you shouldn't be using a titanium bit in that material. It specifies right here what bit to use in that part, and it isn't titanium. I told you, the day you came to work for me, to always check the bit specs. Last thing before starting a new job, didn't I?
The titanium bit was from the last job, and it's the same diameter, and I guess I wasn't thinking.
Wasn't thinking? Do you have any idea how much a titanium bit costs? You want to see the price of a new one taken out of your paycheck?
No, Al, look, it was an accident. I'm sorry.
Then do the job right. Now get back to it. And put the right bit in.
That was pretty rough, huh? You know, I'm thinking maybe I should have yelled right back at him.
Nah, that never works.
You handled that the right way.
Yeah, but yelling at me in front of everybody so the whole place could hear, I should have told him off.
Look, why don't you calm down? Let him calm down and then go see him in his office. Talk to him about it in private.
Like he should have done to begin with.
Right.
Yeah, all right.
Al, can I talk to you for a minute?
Sure.
Can I close the door?
Have a seat. What's up?
I'm really sorry about using the wrong bit. I feel real bad about it. But it was real embarrassing the way that you yelled at me in front of everybody like that.
Yeah, well, I can't stand seeing a piece of expensive equipment like that being ruined. But I can understand how you feel. I guess I could have handled it a bit differently.
I think maybe it would have been better if maybe you called me in here and then yelled at me.
Right. Next time your work needs to be corrected, in private, okay?
Okay, but I hope I don't have to give you any reason to need to.
Good, I hope so too. Now, will you get out of here and get some work done?
Yes, sir.
So, how do you like the new job?
Well, basically, I like it just fine. It's just that I don't know what to do about the way that Susan's been acting towards me.
What's the problem? She's always been really nice to me.
Oh, well, it's not that she's not nice enough. It's just that, well, since she's been here for a year and I've only been here for a couple of months, she seems to think that she can boss me around.
So what are you going to do about it?
I'm not sure. But I'm not going to let her get away with it. Otherwise, for as long as we're both working here, she'll be giving me orders.
Carol, Bonnie just gave me a couple of dozen new accounts to set up. I'm going to give you half of them to do, and I'll do the others.
Did Bonnie say I should do half?
Not exactly, but you know how much hassle it is to set up a new file. I'll service them once they're set up, but it's only fair for you to help me open them up.
Look, Susan, Bonnie is my supervisor, and if you want me to help you, I think you should ask her.
Come on. It's only fair for you to do half.
I don't think that's the point. The point is, will I help you with your work? And the answer is I can spare the time if Bonnie says it's okay. She's my supervisor, and she gives me assignments. Bonnie is my boss.
Okay. You sure can be stubborn sometimes.
Clear it with Bonnie, and then we'll get going.
Okay.
How well do you think Carol handled that situation? Now, she chose to assert her right to make her own decision about helping without being drawn into a pointless argument over whether it was fair and without defending herself about being stubborn. But she also chose to help a fellow worker. The major self-management skills we've talked about in this program, positive attitude, responsibility, good judgment, learning from your mistakes, being a good representative for the business, and people skills are all vital when it comes to holding on to that job you want to keep. Self-management skills, common sense tools for meeting your employer's expectations. And that's the secret of job success.